Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're taking a close look at the brand new Garmin Venu 4, and more specifically both size options, the smaller 41mm and the larger 45mm version. And a lot of people keep asking which size actually fits my wrist better, and that's exactly what this video is about. We'll compare both models side by side. I will show you how they look off the wrist and how they look worn, and where the small but important differences are. At the end, I will also share my thoughts on which size you should pick depending on your wrist size. So let's get started. Let's begin as always with the design and the key specs. The Garmin Venu 4 sticks to the Garmin familiar design language, a round display, a stainless steel case, two physical buttons on the side, and an overall clean, elegant look. At first glance, both versions look almost identical. The difference comes down to the size, the display weight, and a little bit of the on-wrist feel. The smaller Garmin Venu 4 measures 41mm in diameter with a thickness of about 12mm. Its display is 1.2 inches with a resolution of 390 by 390 pixels. The larger Venu 4 comes in at 45mm, also 12mm thick, with a 1.4-inch display at 445 by 445 pixels. That means you get roughly 25 to 30% more display area on the larger version. Something you will definitely notice when reading messages or scrolling through the menus. Weight-wise, the 41mm version, including the straps, come in at around 46 grams, while the 45mm version weighs roughly 56 grams. On paper that doesn't sound like much, but you can feel a slight difference. Nothing uncomfortable though. Both watches are very light, especially compared to the heavier Garmin models like the Epix or the Phoenix. Garmin also improved the battery life on the Venu 4. The smaller model lasts about 10 days on the smartwatch mode, while the larger one pushes up to 12 days. Of course, with the always on display mode enabled, that number drops, but in everyday use, both last long enough that you don't have to keep thinking about charging it every single night. GPS tracking performance is solid on both, with the bigger one lasting a little bit longer thanks to this larger battery. Both models are water resistant up to 50 meters, so swimming, showering or running in the rain won't be a problem. Now let's see how the two watches look off the wrist. When you place the 41 and the 45mm side by side on a table, it's obvious. They're basically the same watch, just scaled differently. Same design, same button layout, same sensors on the backside. But the 45mm display simply looks larger and more present. And once you put them on the wrist, the difference becomes even clearer. My wrist measures about 19 centimeters, and for me the 45mm version definitely fits better. It feels the wrist nicely, it looks balanced and doesn't feel oversized. The larger screen makes messages, widgets and workout data easier to read. On my wrist the 41mm version almost disappears. It's narrow, more compact and perfect for someone with a smaller wrist. But for me personally, it looks too small. So if your wrist measures between 14 and 17 centimeters, the 41mm Venu 4 is probably the better choice. Anything from 17 centimeters upward, the 45mm fits best. And a detail many people are curious about is the lug-to-lug measurement. Basically the distance from the strap mount to the other. And the 41mm version measures about 49mm, while the 45mm version is roughly 52mm. So the larger watch naturally takes up more visual space on the wrist, which looks more balanced on a bigger wrist. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. You will also find a link to the watch down below in the description. The AMOLED display on both watches is stunning, bright, colorful and easy to read outdoors. The difference lies in the usable screen area. On the 41mm version you actually see slightly more text per screen, with one extra line and smaller icons. The 41mm model shows fewer lines at once but offers a larger, easier to read layout overall. For example, in notifications you can usually read one more line or about 1 to 3 extra words on the smaller watch before scrolling. The same goes for WhatsApp or email previews. But when it comes to workout or most other apps, both models displays the same amount of information. Only icon scaling differs. I tested both with the default text size and I noticed that the smaller model's text appears slightly smaller. So I adjusted both to visual match in size and compared again. At that point, the larger model clearly showed more information per screen, about 2 extra lines of text or up to 4 additional words. For the rest of the apps though, there's no real difference between them. Navigation is identical, touchscreen plus the 2 physical buttons on the side. Everything works smoothly and reliably. Scrolling through menus, opening up widgets or starting your workouts feels fast and intuitive. Garmin also added a few distinctions and color options. The 45mm Venu 4 comes in classic black and in silver. The smaller 41mm version offers a wider range including beige and gold accents, making it especially appealing for slimmer wrists or anyone preferring a more elegant look. The bands differ in width, 18mm for the smaller version and 22mm for the larger one, and both use Garmin's quick release system, allowing for easy swaps. Strap length are also adjusted. The 41mm fits wrists between 110 and 175mm, while the 45mm fits to 135 to 200mm. So to wrap things up, the Garmin Venu 4 in 41 and 45mm is essentially the same watch, same design, same features, same software. The difference comes down to the size, the display, weight, and a little bit of extra battery life. The 41mm model is ideal for wrists up to about 17 cm, compact, lightweight, and subtle. If your wrist is larger, like mine, so 19 cm, the 45mm simply looks and feels much more balanced, offers more screen space, and slightly longer endurance. Price-wise, there's no difference. Both start around 450 euros here in Germany. So you can purely choose based on size and fit without missing out on any features. That's already it for today, so I guess I will see you in the next one. Peace.